You say interpreter not scheduled?
I forgot to write it out, but it got done.
Okay. Well, let's start with Mojica.
Yes, we're present. If we could have just a few brief moments.
It's fine.
Thank you.
Palomino.
I'm sorry.
Palomino? That's you, sir? Palomino Martinez? Okay. Is your attorney here? He's on Zoom? Okay. Come on up, right there. All right, we're on the record in 23 CCR 237099, State of Texas versus Francisco Palomino Martinez. Ms. Pizzurro, I need you to translate. If you'd raise your right hand, you solemnly swear or affirm that you will truly and accurately translate from English to Spanish and from Spanish to English, so help you God.
I do, Your Honor. For
Oh.
the record, my name is Pamela Pizzurro, license number LCI 2431.
All right. Mr. Salazar, you are here filling in for Mr. Fernandez.
Señor
That is correct,
Salazar,
Your Honor.
usted está
I'm
aquí
sorry.
representando al señor Fernández, correcto, su señoría.
All right. If you would please just pause. All right. Maybe every few sentences to allow the interpreter to interpret what you're stating. So that being said, why don't you give me a status update on the case?
Si es que por favor podría hacer unas cuantas pausas para permitirle al intérprete que interprete cada ciertas oraciones. Habiendo dicho eso, ¿por qué no me da el estado en el que se encuentra el caso? ¿Cuál es la actualización?
Your Honor, we received an offer from the state yesterday. I have not been able to fully convey that to my client yet.
Su señoría, recibimos una oferta de la Fiscalía el día de ayer y todavía no se la he podido comunicar a mi cliente.
Between this setting and the last setting, the state reached out to the complaining witness and verified whether or not restitution was a part of that plea deal.
Entre esta audiencia y la última audiencia que tuvimos, la Fiscalía se comunicó con la testigo denunciante o con el testigo denunciante y verificó si es que parte del acuerdo era la restitución.
It appears that restitution is not part of the plea bargain offered by the state. Despite that, obviously, I still need to discuss this plea deal with my client.
Aparentemente la restitución no es parte de este acuerdo declaratorio de culpabilidad, pero aún así tengo que hablar de esta oferta de acuerdo declaratorio de culpabilidad con mi cliente.
Mr. Salazar, thank you for the update. Your next setting is going to be January 30th. That's a pretrial conference in person in my courtroom. Hopefully you've got this case figured out before then or by then.
Gracias, señor Salazar, por la actualización. La siguiente fecha será el 30 de enero. En ese momento tendremos una conferencia previa al juicio que será en persona aquí en esta sala. Esperemos que usted ya haya resuelto el caso para esa fecha o antes de eso.
If your client needs to plea or like to plea prior to January 30th, you can contact my coordinator for a plea date.
Si es que su cliente necesita hacer su declaración de culpabilidad o quisiera hacer su declaración de culpabilidad antes del 30 de enero, puede contactarse con mi coordinadora de sala.
That's understood, Your Honor. Thank you.
Lo entiendo, su señoría. Gracias.
Thank you for the update. You and your client are free to go.
Gracias por la actualización. Usted y su cliente ya se pueden retirar.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, everybody. You'll have a good day.
You're free to go. Townsend. We'll do Townsend. We'll come right back. But what?
So the last offer that was probation.
Palin?
48 hours.
Jacobs? No. Townsend? Mr. Palin?
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon. Your client is not in the waiting room or in the courtroom. Would you contact him and try to get him on quickly?
Sure thing, Your Honor.
Thank you. We'll come back to you. All right, Mojica. Good afternoon. We're on the record in 23 CCR 237249, State of Texas versus Damaso Constantino. Mojica.
Estamos en las actas en el caso 23, SR 237249, en el caso de Damaso Constantino Mojica.
Ms. Pizzurro, you're still under oath from the last time I swore you in.
Yes, Your Honor.
Let me get a status update from the attorney.
Yes, Your Honor.
Que el abogado me dé una actualización, sí, su señoría.
Yes, Your Honor. My client is ready to accept a plea that has been made by the Assistant District Attorney.
Mi cliente está listo para aceptar esa declaración de culpabilidad por la oferta que ha realizado la Fiscalía.
Ms. Pizzurro, are you having a hard time hearing them?
Yes, Your Honor. It's very soft.
Microphone, face it towards him. Make sure it's on. All right. Okay, so we'll give you a plea date. Sarah?
Muy bien, le vamos a dar una fecha entonces para su declaración de culpabilidad.
All right,
Should be accepted.
November 7th at 1:30 works for you, Counselor?
Yes, it does, Your Honor.
El
All right.
7 de noviembre a la 1:30 de la tarde está bien con usted, abogado, sí, su señoría.
That's an in-person docket, so make sure you and your client are here.
Yes, Your Honor.
Este será un caso en persona, así que asegúrese de que usted y su cliente estén presentes, sí, su señoría.
You and your client are free to go. Thank you.
Ya se pueden retirar usted y su cliente, gracias.
What is your name?
My name is John.
That's it for us, for you, well, for you. So thank you for your assistance today, Ms. Pizzurro. You're free to
Yes,
go.
Your Honor. Have a good weekend, everyone.
You do the same. Kumal. Okay, we'll come back to that one. Phillips. We're on the record 23 CCR 236102, State of Texas versus Sadeja Lachelle Phillips. Mr. Stevens, why don't you give us an update on the case?
Judge, I believe I have all the discovery that I'm going to need, and my opinion is we're just heading for trial, Judge.
Okay, anything from the state?
Nothing further to add, Judge.
All right, then. Well, you are set for trial on February 18th with pretrial on January 30th. See you then.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Y'all are free to go. Charlo. All right, we're on the record 23 CCR 237118, State of Texas versus Jermel Charlo. Mr. Schaefer, good afternoon. If you give the court a status update on the case.
Well, Your Honor, Nothing really has changed. We have been in some communication with the prosecutor in an attempt to get the case resolved, but other than that, it looks like we're still sort of, prepared for trial. I think we're set in January.
You have a January 30th pretrial with a February 18th jury trial date.
So, it's our hope that this case will be resolved before that, but I can't make that guarantee.
Okay.
In the event that it's not, I think there are going to be some evidentiary issues that we may want to flesh out before trial. This is a domestic violence case where my client is charged with slapping his girlfriend. The girlfriend has now been indicted by a grand jury for aggravated assault on Mr. Charlo. And accordingly, her lawyer has advised the prosecutor that she is not going to testify in Mr. Charlo's case, so we'll take the fifth if called. So the case would have to be made through a 911 tape where the girlfriend, the complainant, makes allegations against Mr. Charlo, and possibly a body cam where the officer interviews the complainant at her home shortly before Mr. Charlo's arrest. So if that's the case, then we are going to have objections. I don't know so much as to the 911 tape, but as to the other tape. So at some point, if the case looks like it's going to proceed to trial, we probably will need a hearing on that. I don't know if you want to do that at the time of trial or do it pre-trial.
Well, I'd prefer to do it pre-trial. So if you are going to file to suppress any type of evidence or have any evidentiary hearings, file your motion, get with my coordinator, and we'll get you a date to have it heard prior to the pre-trial.
Okay. It would be helpful before we file a motion if we could get some notice from the prosecutor as to exactly what she intends to offer. There are literally, I'm going to guess, a dozen body cam recordings that were made by various officers that all kind of came to the scene. And there were some tapes turned over by the complainant to the officer. I don't know if the prosecutor is going to offer those or not. And so that's a totally separate objection. So if we could get some sort of clarification, it would help us to streamline the motion for you to tell you what exactly we're objecting to and why.
Ms. Chapa, would you care to respond at all? Or do you want to have a conversation with defense counsel after the hearing?
No, Judge, I have nothing to add on the status of this case. Mr. Schaefer, I will give you a call here soon and we can discuss further on those issues.
Yeah, I mean, we have time. So whenever Ms. Chapa has time, I'm happy to speak to her.
Okay, perfect.
The only other thing we have is we did file a motion to amend bond conditions. So at the time that Mr. Charlo was arrested, both he and the complainant were living in his house. It's a house he's owned for years. And the whole fight started because he had asked her to move out. And when she refused, he started packing up her belongings. And it's an argument that started earlier in the day, and then it calmed down, then it started again that night. So anyway, while he was in jail, when the police arrested him on this case, there was she got a no contact order that dissolved, but now it's a condition of bond. He's not allowed to go back to his own house. Well, by the time he got out of jail, she moved out of the house. She's been gone now since, I think, December. And so essentially she's got her own place. She lives there with their child. And so we filed a motion to amend his bond conditions to allow him to go back to his own house since she hasn't been there in 10 months.
Okay. Counselor, when did you file that motion?
It was just filed today.
Oh,
And I'll be honest with you, I didn't realize that. I knew there was an order that he's not to have contact with her. I didn't realize there was an order keeping him out of his house. And to be honest with you, he didn't either until his pretrial officer told him, you need to have your lawyer file a motion for you to get back in your house, even though the complainant is not living there. And it hasn't even been in the House in 10 months.
All right, well, I'll tell you this, Council, I don't even have the motion yet. It's not in the case file. So if you just filed it today, so why don't we do this? Since I don't even have it to review at this point in time, why don't we set it for a hearing? And then we can have that motion, we can hear that motion and modify at that time.
Would it be possible if we could get it heard maybe within the next week?
I don't, let me check the calendar. I don't see why not.
It shouldn't take more than a couple of minutes. And if you see the motion and the state doesn't object, I mean, it's your option. If you want to grant it without a hearing, then that could obviate the need for a hearing.
Well, I mean, if there's no objection from the state, Ms. Chapa,
I haven't seen the motion, Judge.
why don't we do this? We'll set it for an in-person hearing on November 1st, next Friday, 9 a.m. Does that work for you, Mr. Schaefer?
I'll be out of the country. Mr. Kennedy, can you cover it?
I can. I'll be available, Judge. Yes, sir.
All right.
Be available.
And by then, Your Honor, I would imagine Ms. Chapa will have verified that what's in the motion. It's a very short, simple motion and just a few lines. I'm sure she'll be able to verify that what's in there is accurate, Judge.
Okay, very good. November 1st, 9 a.m. I'll see y'all then.
Very good, sir.
Thank you.
Y'all are free to go. Go ahead and make a calendar entry of that. James. We're on the record in 23 CCR 237092, State of Texas versus Darian James. Mr. Capetillo, if you give the court an update on the case, please.
Judge, I believe on 9/20/88, Colin Scoville sent a notice to DPS asking about blood discovery. I think we appeared 9/24. You signed an order. I was just checking back with Colin on that. I sent him an email noticing that we hadn't got it yet. I'm curious if it's been uploaded to the state's portal.
Judge, I have not received notification from DPS. That being said, I will check it this afternoon. If it has been uploaded, Mr. Capetillo, I will send it to you immediately.
Appreciate it. Other than that, Judge, I think we are already on your docket for.
You got pretrial and trial coming up next.
Yes, sir. That's it.
30th pretrial.
Correct.
All right. Thank you for the update. You and your client are free to go, and Mr. Scoville will look into that for you.
Judge, if I don't, for whatever reason, not the state's fault, but DPS is on a backlog or anything, should we create a deadline of when we should approach on that?
If you do not have it in hand,
Yes, sir. I don't want to show up January 30th and tell you I don't have it in hand.
sure.
The request was submitted September 20th. DPS, I'm assuming just to be on the safe side, said it typically takes about 90 days. Meaning even if they go to the full extent of that time period, we should have it before then. Typically, it doesn't take that long. So again, we should have it well ahead of time before pretrial.
Well, we can have an update on December 6th.
Yes,
See where
Judge.
we're at.
Will do, Judge.
Why don't you just swing by the court on December 6th that morning? If you don't have it in hand, we'll address it at that time.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right.
Be present for that, correct, Judge? Just me and state?
I'm sorry?
Client doesn't need to appear on December 6th for that, right?
No.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. Y'all are free to go. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ryan Flynn. We're on the record in 23 CCR 236526, State of Texas versus Ryan Flynn. Mr. Milano, why don't you give me your update?
Judge, just got a recommendation from the state. Was talking to a prosecutor here just prior to your taking the bench. So I need to talk to him a little bit more, but I think we can get this case resolved prior to trial.
Okay. Well, pretrial is coming up January 30th. So if you come to a resolution, you need a plea date, get with Sarah. Okay.
Very good, Judge.
All right. Thank you for the update. You and your client are free to go.
Thank you, Judge.
Lisa Mitchell. Yeah, they typically go to his office, like monks. Mr. Monks.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon. Your
Can I
client.
go ahead and bring my client in?
Sure, go ahead.
Thank you. Lisa? Thank you, Your Honor, for seeing this so quickly. How are you doing today?
I'm good. Thank you. We're on the record in 23 CCR 237177, State of Texas versus Lisa Mitchell. Mr. Monks, go ahead and give us a status update on the case.
Thank you, Your Honor. I left a message with Mr. Schofield today. We're in the process of trying to resolve it. They have offered a probation or a jail time offer, and I'm talking to him about a potential alternative. I did pull up the receipt that went with the actual information, and I think we're in a position to get this resolved next time. We could either set it for a plea or whatever the next setting is that you have.
Why don't we go ahead and schedule it for a plea date?
Yes, sir.
Sarah, what's the, give me a date? Is November 7th at 1:30 good for you?
I just want to check, sir, real quick.
Sure.
Yes, sir, we can be there.
Okay. November 7th at 1:30. I'll see you and your client in person. Y'all are
Thank
free
you.
to go.
You have a great
you.
day. Bye-bye.
We're on the record in 23 CCR 237179, State of Texas versus Curtis Robertson. Ms. Bronson, why don't you give me an update on the case?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. We actually sent a mitigation packet to the prosecutor just today, a couple hours ago, and I just emailed them a few minutes ago with an additional piece of that mitigation packet. So we're just waiting for them to have the time to review that.
State.
I received the mitigation packet from defense while we've been in docket, Judge. I'll try to get to that and review it get a memo sent up as soon as possible.
Okay. Next setting is pretrial conference, January 30th. That's at 9 a.m. It's an in-person docket. Hopefully you have an answer before then. Thank you.
Yes,
For
Your Honor.
the Bronson, you and your client are free to go.
Thank you, Judge. Have a great day.
You too. Bravion Bennett. That's fine. Uh, let's go back to Kumal real quick. Or Townsend, we can do either. All right, Abu Bakar Kumal.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we're on the record in 23 CCR 237194, stated that Texas versus Abu Bakar Kumal. Mr. Craig, why don't you give the court an update?
Yes, Your Honor. Good afternoon. Mr. Kumal has been accepted into the PTI program on his felony case. We are waiting for a passport for him to get a new ID for him to get into the program. That's one of the conditions, is to have a valid state ID, and he currently does not. And the passport is the contingency on that. We're anticipating that issue should be resolved within about 3 weeks, Judge, at the most.
And does this felony PTI resolve the misdemeanor?
Yes,
It
Judge.
does.
And how so? Will they dismiss the misdemeanor? What are we doing with it?
My understanding is once he actually signs the PTI contract for the felony, this misdemeanor will be dismissed.
Okay. Thank you for the update, Mr. Craig. You and your client are free to go.
Thank you, Judge. Have a good afternoon.
You do the same. Let's go ahead and take care of Townsend. Mr. Townsend? Okay. Right there at that table. All right, we're on the record in 24 CCR 237340, state of Texas versus Otis Townsend. Mr. Palin, why don't you give the court an update?
Afternoon, Your Honor. The state and the defense have come to an agreement. We are looking to set this case for a plea.
November 7th at 1:30 p.m. How does that date work for you?
Excellent. Thank you, Judge.
All right, I will see you and your client in person in my courtroom on that day.
Thank you. May we be excused?
You may. You're free to go. I'll see you back on November 7th. Okay. All we have left is Mr. Bennett. Let him in. He may have left. His attorney's on the phone.
Drag him out of the hall.
Is he in the courthouse? Go get Mr. Parks. Nope, there he is. We're on the record, 22 CCR 228301, State of Texas versus Travion DeMarcus Bennett. First off, Mr. Bennett, I'm pretty lenient on clothing for most defendants in this courtroom, but I draw the line on tank tops in the courtroom. Okay, I understand. Looks like you just came from work. You're on a lunch break for your job. Okay. All right. Next time you come to court, dress appropriately. Put a spare set of clothes in your car. Put them on before you walk into this courthouse and be dressed appropriately for this court. Consider this your warning. All right. Mr. Parks, why don't you give me an update? You may. All right. November 7th at 1:30 p.m. I'll see both of y'all in person. Appropriately dressed. Yes. Thank you. All right, that concludes our